I'll do it. Yep, I'm gonna be swordless until tomorrow morning. What a shame. What a shame. Anyway, now that we're back into the deserted mountain village, we're just gonna immediately leave because there's nothing else to do in this village until tomorrow morning. Normally I would skip through time, but there's something I have to do before tomorrow morning, which I'm going to do now because it's probably going to take me several million tries. Actually, if not for the fact that I was recording this commentary after recording the video, I would say that it should take me 1 or 2 tries, because normally I can do this on like the first or second shot, but for some reason when I was recording this playthrough it took me like 10 tries. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to blow this up and actually go through the suspicious hole in the wall. But first I need to grab an arrow and shoot it, because I'm too lazy to wait for it to explode on its own. So yeah, attack the rubber band AI, as I think I said earlier. In this suspicious doorway is the Goron racetrack, where you have to race a bunch of Gorons to the finish line. And the prize is something that'll help us get our awesome sword. The problem, it's one of the worst mini-games I've ever played. It's seriously terrible. It's just awful. It's like they really just needed to get this done, so they just slapped the worst thing ever into the best Zelda game ever, in my opinion. But, yeah, they get away with it just because the rest of this game is so good, but it's really unacceptable how terrible this mini-game is. If you're not familiar with the term rubber band AI, it means like the opponents aren't actually good or anything like that. They're not programmed well. It's just that the better you do, they just get teleported to be closer to you to make the game harder. It's really annoying. It's terrible and really unfair. They're also, I think, faster than you. At least they seem to be sometimes, like now. There's also a lot of really like that. What the hell was that? Ugh. I simply hate this minigame. It's terrible. The worst minigame in this entire game. Thankfully, it is beatable. It's not like some certain GTA games I can mention that have practically unbeatable missions that take like a billion tries that I've never even bothered to beat because they're just not worth it. I can actually beat this minigame, and like I said earlier, usually I can beat it on my first try now because I've gotten pretty good at it, but for some reason it was very hard while doing this playthrough. So yeah, pretty much this whole part is just me trying this over and over again. Pretty interesting. I'm getting an email. I'm gonna go check that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I might as well just check my email and blah blah. Fail the race. Yeah. Let's try it again. This race is pretty much impossible if you don't get all the fairies and get your double magic meter. And when I say pretty much impossible, I mean doable. Because you can do it if you really want to, especially if you wait until a bit later in the game and get infinite magic power, which you can do with a potion you'll find later. It's not actually a potion, but whatever. But anyway, I'm not going to do that because I want to get that sword as soon as possible. Instead, I'm going to run into the stupidest glitch in the world and get stuck in the wall there for about 3 minutes. By 3 minutes, I mean about 5 seconds, but it's enough to make me lose the race. Fun fact, if you fall off this bridge here, you'll get a little notice saying, well, there's no way you can win now, so let's just restart the race. Which is actually pretty funny. You'd think it would be satisfying to run into the other Gorons and knock them off course, but half the time it seems like the game completely at random decides, well, I'm gonna make you lose your spikes if you run into the other Gorons, which is really frustrating. It's really annoying. Like, sometimes you run into walls, you don't lose your spikes. Other times you run into walls and you bounce right off them like it doesn't even matter. It's so finicky. I hate it so much. It's a terrible minigame. Let's go. Nope. At least there's no real, you know, I mean, you don't take any damage or anything like that. You waste a bit of time, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you're really terrible at it, you don't know the inverted song of time and such, because you do need to beat this before night of the first day if you want to get that sword. But, still, it's not that bad. I mean, especially, you know, you can, usually if you're not terrible like me, you could beat Goat before 9 AM, and then beat this before night even falls. I mean, it's not that hard. It only takes, like, a few in-game hours to beat the race once. With the inverted song of time, anyway, I don't know. I always play the game with the inverted song of time, so, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Would you tell me? You want to make sure to hit these green jars, because you'll see somewhere in this part, I'm not sure where, but there's a part in this part somewhere where, I lose the race because I ran out of magic power, which is really frustrating, so please, at any chance you get, do hit into those green jars. They're not that imperative when you're fighting the boss, but in this race, they will cause you to tear your hair out if you miss them too much. Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, normally I'd end the part here and just skip to me winning, because that's pretty much what happens in the next part, but, I, for some reason, felt the need to let this part go on for a really long time, just to emphasize how terrible this minigame is. I really don't like it. It's awful. It's a cool idea for a minigame. It's a great idea. The Goron racetrack, it sounds friggin' awesome. It sounds like it could be like its own spin-off game. Although I really hope it never becomes its own spin-off game, because that would probably be terrible, but it sounds like it could be pretty cool. They really did not do a very good job with this. I just noticed one of the spikes on Goron Link's, one of the spikes on him goes through his hat. That's what I mean to say. God damn. I also can't help but notice that, like real racing, everyone's cheering, but hardly anyone can actually see what's happening. Which is a little bit... yeah, and there I'm punching the air in frustration. I did actually go and watch a real race before. It was boring as hell. Even more boring than it was on TV, because it was also cold, and the food was extremely expensive. It was like $4 for a sausage. One sausage. But anyway, that's just me complaining. That was a local racetrack anyway, not like NASCAR or something. I don't even know if people watch those in real life or if they just watch them on TV. I don't know. I don't even like racing. But yeah, it was really boring. The only interesting part was at one point someone's whole car set on fire and they couldn't control it anymore, so it like went crashing into the woods and they jumped out the window, which was pretty cool, but the guy, as far as I know, was not injured, so yeah, it was pretty cool. But the race was really annoying, especially since it was a local racetrack. It was just like a circle, and they had to do like 120 laps to beat it, which was really boring. And the only reason I went to watch it was because my dad was in it, and his car died after like 5 laps, so it was not very interesting. By the way, the sausage cost $4. This is filler commentary, by the way. At least the music is pretty kick-ass, I will say that. Pretty much everything's kick-ass except the AI. But, also I really hate that part with the trees. Sigh. I will see you in part 46. Yeah.